I just paid rent and bought groceries. Ain't shit funny right now. Like, when we gonna talk about rent control for real in Atlanta? Because it's getting outrageous. It really is. My rent increase was implemented this month, and I'm pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. My rent only went up $120, but I'm mad as hell. I pay over $2,000. I pay over $2,000 for rent. No, some don't even make $2,000 in a month, and I pay that in just rent. I pay that in just rent. And no, that's not a flex, because I am happy I'm able to afford it, and I'm happy I'm able to give my kids stability and comfortability. But the dream of home ownership, I feel, is no longer attainable. People act like, oh, just go buy a house, just go buy a house. With what money?
This is how a lot of you all feel. And the reason I know that is I take polls. I have a fairly active YouTube channel, and this is a sentiment across the board. You're frustrated. You're disgusted. A lot of you guys feel like you're in a no-win situation. Costs are continuing to go up. Okay. Home prices, rent, they're going up. And if you want to buy a home, you have to pull the trigger, if you will, find out where you are and get in where you fit in today. Because let me ask you, what do you think home prices are going to be a year or two from now? Are they going back to 2019 levels or lower? Or do you see them remaining the same or incrementally increasing? Not a huge spike, but going up. Put that down in the comment section. And the reason I ask that is because a lot of you guys have been waiting on this crash to happen. You watch all of these YouTubers that are parroting and pontificating a crash is going to happen. But what you don't realize is that's how they make their money. They're getting your attention. They're getting ad dollars, views, the whole nine. Whole time you're frustrated like this lady, right? Wondering when you're going to get a break. If you don't believe me, let's continue to watch.
What money? Damn townhouses in Atlanta started at $300,000, $400,000 for a townhouse. For a townhouse. I'm over here saving money that I don't have to be able to give my kids something, which forces me to be broke right now so they can have money later. And then it's pride. You going outside? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going outside. I just spent $1 billion for 30 days. I don't know if I'm going outside this weekend. Golly.
See, I told you. So watch this video to the end. Gonna give you some actionable steps. And then we have a test that you can implement, you can apply to your situation and help tell you if you're ready to move forward. Let go. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is she mentioned rent control. And the reason rent control is going to be a problem for most of you guys is because the government is involved. And anytime the government is involved, this is where, in my opinion, you get all, or not all, but you get a lot of problems. Let me explain. Go back now and look at all of the programs government is involved in when it comes to housing. So we have the Section 8 program in all of its different shapes and forms. And it's in the news again because a lot of you all are going to be put on hard limits. And look at the type of housing in most of these cases where government is involved. And it's not where a lot of you guys want to live. And you can make your own determination and assumptions as to why you don't want to live there. I think I know why. You need help from the government because you want the government to come in, subsidize the cost of how you want to live. Hear what I'm saying. You don't have to buy, but if you're renting, you have no control. And this is my main point to home ownership for those of you that are contemplating becoming homeowners and can afford to do so, is the control aspect. And I'm talking primary residence, right? Because you can control your environment, where you want to live, what schools you want your kids to go to, so on and so forth. So when you hear me on a lot of these videos and I'm saying that people are in a race to the bottom, this is what I mean, because whenever you lose control, that means that you're beholden to what you get. And so if you understand that and you're cool with that, then move forward. But I don't think she is, because that's why she's frustrated. And so let's get a definition of rent control real quick. It's a government program. okay, that limits how much landlords can charge for leasing a home or renewing a lease. Rent control laws are usually enacted by municipalities, and the details vary widely. As a private business person, an investor, your main objective is to make a profit. And so those two things don't align. Therefore, you get what you get with this young lady and a lot of you all out there that are frustrated because you're getting to that point where rent just doesn't make sense. In your mind, you're like, you know what? It's getting too high and I don't have anything that I can control. Someone is telling me everything that I need to do. And then don't add your children or your next generations in the mix, because now it's like, what are they going to have? What am I able to leave behind to them? You see what I'm saying? And so you have to make that decision on, am I going to continue to stay in this box that these subsidies are giving me, with the caveat that you're not elderly, you're not disabled, okay? And you don't have a real disease that prevents you from working, but you've been limiting yourself in this box for so long of a time, to now you're ready to move and you can't because your income is limited. Why is your income limited? Because you haven't been in the marketplace increasing your skills. You've been on the sideline, and now it's time to get in the game and you're not fit. The good news is you can start getting fit, but you have to come to that realization. Nobody's coming to help. Get that out of your mind. Once you make that realization, then you can start seeing the possibilities of what's available to you as far as increasing your productivity, increasing your skills so that you can garner the income that you need to change your situation. And that's the truth of the matter. You guys can continue to follow and listen to people that are in your same boat. And another 5 years from now, if the Lord tarries, you're going to be in the same position. And the costs are going to get worse. Why? All the folks just like you that want a subsidy from the government. The money got to come from somewhere. And so if you're not producing and putting into the system and everybody's taking, regardless of how everybody wants to look at it and say how evil this place is, this is the system that you're in. You have to learn how to play the game. This is why this young lady is frustrated. Let's get to the solution point, right? So I've been thinking about how can we help those of you determine if you're ready to buy. We've come up with something. We call it the PEACE framework. The P stands for your payment comfortability. The E stands for your employment stability. The A is for your after purchase cushion. How much money do you have left over? The C is your commitment to put down roots. How long you must stay in a place if you're considering buying. And then the E, last but not least, is your emotional readiness. Are you ready to be a homeowner, not just buy a house, but are you ready? So that is the framework that we've come up with. And in the description, you can click a link to take this test to help you determine, where you're at as far as buying, if you want to buy. I'm not talking to you if you want to rent. Keep it moving. We're talking to folks that want to buy. They just don't understand if they can or where they really stand. This test is for you guys. So avail yourself to that test. Click it down in the description, and it'll help determine if you're ready to reach out and have a conversation. Free consultation with me. First 15 minutes is free. You schedule that consultation, and then we could really go into the next step if there's a fit and get into your specific situation. Remember, everybody's finances and goals are specific to you, your DNA, your thumbprint. Because if you keep waiting, you're going to be frustrated like this young lady, because prices ain't going down. So the link is in the description. Take the test. Reach out if you feel like you want to find out where you are. And I can't wait to speak with you. You guys stay blessed. Let grace abound, and let's be good to one another. Indeed.